This was the Vision, a ship designed to be mathematically unsinkable, the pinnacle of Edwardian engineering.
The scale of the undertaking was unprecedented. Thousands of men appearing as mere specks.
These massive triple expansion engines generated an astonishing 50,000 indicated horsepower. The immense scale of the propellers is clear. The center propeller, seen here, was powered by the enormous low...
Every detail, from the wrought iron to the mahogany paneling, spoke of unparalleled luxury. Though humble, these quarters represented the journey to a brighter future. The promise of America was finally within reach.
To ease the pious in
The stores include thousands of bottles of fine wine, 40,000 fresh eggs, and the very best cuts of meat, all for the journey.
Captain Edward Smith, the White Star Line's most esteemed commander, now at the helm of the largest ship ever built.
Ovalies. The first three funnels are active, but the fourth serves a different purpose entirely. It is in fact a massive ventilation
As the great liner eased into the White Star dock, the sheer scale of the gathering crowds became a...
As a Royal Mail ship, the Titanic carried an astonishing amount of post. Over 3,000 sacks were loaded for the voyage.
While the lower classes bustled below, the upper crust ascended, their silk and wool a stark contrast to the rivets and steel of this modern marvel.
They called us the Black Gang. Every day was a fight against the furnaces. Shovel the coal or the lights go out.
The sparks you see are the clearest indication of the power of the Marconi system, transmitting vital information across vast distances.
For those seeking to maintain their figure at sea, the Titanic offers the very latest in modern amenities, including these...
Weighing nearly 8 tons, the anchors were the largest ever forged, designed to hold the massive ship in place.
At Cherbourg, the opulent liner took on some of her most famous passengers, including the likes of John Jacob Astor and Benjamin Guggenheim.
The kitchens were tasked with an extraordinary 10-course meal. Guests would enjoy the likes of sirloin of beef, spring lamb.
This is the last time she touches land.
At 22 knots, the Titanic engines were pushed to their absolute limit. The pressure was immense, demanding.
The sea was unusually calm that night, a sheet of glass reflecting the stars. The officers...
The reading room offered a sanctuary of silence, reflecting the tranquility of the crossing.
A stunning array of valuables. A brand new Renault motor car destined for New York. And perhaps most... In the biting cold of the crow's nest, the lookouts shivered. Crucially, they had no binoculars to pierce the darkness ahead.
Iceberg warning. 41 degrees 46 minutes N, 50 degrees 14 minutes W. Several large icebergs.
April 14th.
The sea was unusually calm that night, a mirror reflecting the stars. But this stillness meant the telltale...
Iceberg, right ahead!
The bridge reacted instantly, calling for hard a starboard. The massive rudder swung over, and the engines in...
As the ice shelf scraped along the hull, it carved a continuous gash, stretching nearly 300 feet.
A most curious vibration, barely perceptible above the engines. One almost hesitates to mention it.
With the icy water surging around their ankles, the firemen scrambled toward the closing bulkhead door, knowing this was their only chance of survival.
I'm afraid the calculations are precise, Captain. She is going to sink.
CQD. We require immediate assistance. CQD. We have struck an iceberg and are sinking.
Captain Rostron wasted no time. He immediately ordered a sharp turn and commanded the engine room to full ahead. They flashed the lamps repeatedly, desperately trying to get a response. But the Californian remained silent, agonizingly close. The order from Captain Smith was absolute. Women and children are to enter the lifeboats first.
Make way!
The first distress rocket, an unmistakable signal of extreme peril, launched into the night sky. Why should we leave the safety of this magnificent ship for those tiny boats? It makes no sense at all. In the midst of chaos, the first lifeboat, designed for 65 souls, carried only 28. In the face of disaster, the musicians stood resolute, offering a final, cheerful tune to calm the rising panic. The world tilts, and suddenly, up is down. You can't trust your eyes, you can't trust your feet. Devotion to duty above all else. Even as the sea rushed in, these brave men fought to save the mail.
The ingress of the Atlantic accelerates. The lower decks are now fully compromised. The water level is rising rapidly towards the viewing gallery.
We are prepared to go down like gentlemen.
Having shared a lifetime, Isidore insisted his beloved Ida take a seat on the lifeboat, but she refused to leave his side.
As the Atlantic poured in, these men faced a terrible choice. They knew the pumps were failing, yet they remained at
The mechanical advantage of the Welland-type davit meant that the boats could be launched by gravity alone, despite the tremendous weight of a fully loaded lifeboat.
The bottleneck was absolute chaos. Hundreds crushed against the locked gates, desperate for a chance. But even when we haven't much time, men. She's going down fast.
Heave! Put your backs into it!
And so, the sea began to claim its prize. This chilling torrent. Behold the fury of the Atlantic. The roar of the ocean drowns out all hope.
Never had a ship looked so magnificent, nor a disaster so profound. The lights burned bright against the crushing darkness of the sea. With the bow fully submerged, the center of gravity shifts dramatically, pulling the ship deeper. The icy water now begins to wash over the bridge wing.
As the compartments flooded, the water reached the boiler rooms. The generators strained under the pressure, flickering. The roar of the falling steel was immense. The massive funnel crashed into the icy water. The stern rose to a terrifying height, lifting the propellers clear of the water. It was a sight. With the deck now at a 45-degree angle, the horror was absolute. Hundreds clung to the stern, praying for a rescue that would never come.
The internal steel girders are groaning and twisting under the immense weight, causing a cascade failure of the central structure. At this moment, the immense pressure becomes too much. The sound of 1,000-ton steel tearing signals the great break. The bow's final departure. Torn free from the wreck, it begins its long, silent glide towards the ocean floor, leaving the surface far behind. The aft section, now separate, crashed onto the surface, generating an enormous splash. It paused only briefly.
10.
And then, as the last remnants slipped beneath the waves, there was only silence. A profound and chilling quiet. Listen closely. That is the sound of hundreds abandoned to the sea.
"12,000 feet down, the pressure of the abyss is immense, capable of crushing the strongest steel. And so the great ship found its final resting place, a cold, dark tomb beneath the waves.
Every artifact down here, every shoe and broken plate, represents a life.
Miles of ice and debris, but nowhere near enough lifeboats. We were surrounded by the dead.
In the end, only a small number were saved from the dark water. This man was among the fortunate few to survive.
As the first light of dawn broke, she appeared, the RMS Carpathia, a sight that brought...
The relief was palpable, yet overshadowed by a profound weariness. We pulled them from the icy water.
The morning broke bright and clear, illuminating the terrible truth of their abandonment. The following survivors are confirmed. A.G. Somm, L.H.B. Smith, Mrs. J. Stewart. Here, at the White Star Docks, the city held its breath. Every soul clung to the faint hope.
Read the Evening Sun! The Titanic has sunk! All hands lost! Extra! Extra! Read all about it! We are here to determine who is to blame for this tragedy. Why were the lifeboats not filled?
Senator, we did the best we could. It was absolute chaos.
The Titanic disaster changed maritime safety forever, leading to Regulation 3. All vessels must...
In loving memory of the brave engineers and musicians who perished on the Titanic.
They called her the Ship of Dreams, a floating palace crossing the vast ocean. Deep in the darkness, the Titanic rests, a timeless memorial, left undisturbed in its eternal slumber.
The North Atlantic held its secret close. As the decades passed from 1912 to 1980,
The idea was simple enough. Fill the wreck with buoyant spheres or freeze it solid. But the sheer scale made...
deep in the abyss, the towfish searches. Rhythmic pinging.
True. To navigate the abyss, the Argo employs powerful, deep-sea arc lights, capable of illuminating the Titanic.
Wait, hold it steady. There it is. That's the boiler. We found the Titanic!
There she is, the bow of the Titanic. The destruction here is a stark contrast to the bow. The violent impact twisted the metal, pancaking the...
As the bacteria consume the iron, the rusticles form, slowly causing the metal structure of the Titanic to decay and crumble into the deep ocean.
Amidst the ruins of grand ambition, even the smallest things endure. A stark reminder. Descending into the abyss.
Look at that. The first human eyes to gaze upon the interior in 74 years. It's incredible how much is still here.
Look how the sea has claimed this place. Yet, amidst the rust and ruin, this solid...
We are now inside Captain Smith's cabin. This porcelain tub, now caked in silt, offers...
Debunking the myths of lost gold and treasures, this safe is completely empty. There is nothing of value remaining.
At nearly 20 tons, this section, the largest we've attempted, represents the culmination of years of...
Here we utilize a complex desalination process involving controlled electrolysis. The applied current generates hydrogen. We carefully retrieve the leather case from the debris. What we found inside defied explanation. Clothes as vibrant as the day the Titanic sailed.
Recovered from the abyssal depths, these lumps of coal are the only artifacts from the Titanic ever sold to the public, offering a tangible link to the tragedy.
In loving memory of the passengers and crew who perished on this spot, may they rest in peace.
The international fascination with the Titanic has never waned. A century later, she still holds secrets.
To truly capture the Titanic for the big screen, we push the boundaries of visual detail.
The Marconi apparatus remains a focal point of contention. Is it an artifact to be in situ?
As the bow submerged, the tension on the midsection became unbearable. The expansion joint, designed for thermal changes...
Here lie the boilers, massive silent monuments resting in the silt, separated from the main wreck.
Despite the immense pressure, the windows of the dining saloon remain completely intact, a testament to the strength of the original glass.
The last command ever issued to this mechanism was... harder starboard.
Here, in the deep silence, the white anemones bloom like spectral flowers, claiming the rusted bones of the Titanic as their own. The ship is disappearing. Decades of decay have weakened the steel, causing the deck to collapse.
The Titanic. A tomb for so many, yet a teacher to us all.
Margaret Brown stood tall, demanding they return.
Row, I say!
We cannot leave them! We risk swamping the boat!
Their father, having separated from his wife, decided to simply take the boys. He bought tickets for the Titanic under a false name, hoping to start a new life in America.
It is believed that his survival was aided by both his calm demeanor and, perhaps crucially, the Countess of Ruth, demonstrating remarkable courage, took the tiller of Lifeboat 8, guiding the survivors away from...
She was only 9 weeks old when she was carried off the ship.
After 73 years beneath the Atlantic, the violin of Wallace Hartley was finally recovered from the debris field in 1985.
To whom it may concern, the ship is sinking. We are on the Titanic.
Of the dozen dogs aboard, only 3 would make it off the ship alive. The others perished in the freezing sea. Through the columns of the newspaper, Marcel recognized the faces of her lost boys. A journey across the sea brought her to New York.
Frozen in time. At exactly 2:20 a.m.
We honor the brave men of the Black Gang. Joseph Bell, William McRae, Peter Sloan, Thomas Dodd.
For his courage and seamanship in the face of the Titanic disaster, Captain Arthur Rostron is hereby awarded the Congressional Gold Medal.
The famed Heart of the Ocean necklace is central to the myth, yet in reality, no such jewel was recovered from the wreck.
Sister ship to the Titanic, the Britannic was designed to be safer. But in 1916, she too succumbed to the depths.
Old Reliable, the Olympic, the last of the great liners. As she is broken here for scrap in 1935, so ends an era of shipbuilding.
The sound was a continuous, terrible roar as the ship tore itself to pieces. I shall never forget it.
We turned the boat back toward where she went down. But when we arrived, all we found was silence.
We therefore commit these bodies to the deep, looking for the general resurrection in the last day, and the life of...
The silt holds their secrets. These are the invisible victims, dissolved into history.
It can't be true.
The Titanic Historical Society is committed to preserving the truth. It's a story etched in steel and ink.
Welcome to the virtual presentation of the RMS Titanic. Through advanced 3... While the original lies submerged, this meticulously refurbished replica allows us to walk in the footsteps of history.
Published years prior, Futility described the largest ship ever built, deemed unsinkable.
Consommé Olga, followed by the Filet Mignon.
Cast adrift by the Greenland currents, the iceberg begins its inevitable journey south. Driven while a compelling story, the mummy's presence on the Titanic is pure fiction. There is simply no evidence to support the supernatural claims.
The ship belongs to the ages now.
These remarkable structures, dubbed rusticles, are formed by the bacterium Halomonas titanicae. Decades of decay compressed into moments. The grand structure yields to the relentless march of time and the crushing deep.
The presence of the 5 massive Scotch boilers here confirms the structural failure point.
The keel, designed to withstand normal stress, could not bear the load. It buckled under immense pressure, leading to a catastrophic... The stern section, already weakened, could not withstand the immense pressure. It violently imploded, scattering debris across the seabed.
This is the Teledyne Marine ROV. Its powerful LED arrays cut through the darkness, showcasing the bronze blades of the Titanic.
Despite the incredible pressure, the thick glass remains unbroken. This is due to pressure equalization, a testament to its original design.
Here lies the voice of the Titanic, silenced now, a relic consumed by the deep.
These deep-sea currents are relentless storms. They carry abrasive sediment across the wreckage.
The davit structure failed under the dynamic load. We see clear evidence of mechanical strain here, with the...
It's remarkable, isn't it? All this chaos, yet here, time stopped completely.
As this macro view shows, the high levels of slag trapped within the wrought iron made the rivets highly susceptible to brittle fracture in the cold water. This massive scar in the seabed marks the final moment of impact, where the bow hit the mud at an astonishing 30 miles per hour.
The mast, once a symbol of opulence, now stands as a rusted skeleton. The iconic crow's... We descend now into the engine room. Gaze upon these colossal pillars of iron.
The Turkish bath, remarkably intact. The Iznik tiles, turquoise and cobalt blue, shine as bright as the water rose. The final command was given. These gears engaged, sealing the bulkheads and the fate of those trapped below.
The sheer weight of these massive links, nearly a quarter-ton each, speaks to the unprecedented scale of the Titanic.
The expansion joints were designed to flex, but the immense pressure exceeded their limits. As the superstructure buckled, the wrist...
Even here, deep within the wreck on D-deck, the luxurious patterns of the original linoleum remain visible.
As the damage caused by the persistent coal fire, the extreme heat compromised the integrity of the hull plating, a critical factor in the disaster. Landing here raises profound ethical questions. This isn't just a vessel, it's the final resting place for thousands. Down here, the silence is profound. A stillness unbroken for a century, save for the...
The Titanic's immense cargo capabilities are unmatched. 5 holds can account over 5,000 tons of freight.
The deep ocean is a slow-motion graveyard. Every day, a blizzard of marine snow drifts down,
As the stern plunged, the propellers resisted rotation. The technical survey is now concluded.
When the great ship went down, it became more than just news. Through the flickering lens of the cinema, the tragedy was forged into a global myth. As we descend further, we are reminded that the deep sea remains a largely unexplored and unforgiving environment.
The debate centers on whether these relics should be salvaged and preserved, or left undisturbed on the seabed.
They say time heals all wounds, but some are passed down through the blood, generation after generation.
Under the conviction of the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, the Titanic wreck site is now...
The legend of the Titanic has captivated us for a century. This new vessel is a testament to our endurance.
The microbes multiply exponentially, forming these destructive rusticles. It is this process that will...
We are gathered here at these coordinates at 2:20 a.m. to honor those who perished.
Scanned in 3D, every rivet and plate preserved. The ship will live on, immortalized in this data.
What secrets does this leather hold? The voices of the past, silenced by the deep. The Titanic is more than just a wreck. It is a mirror, reflecting our own humanity.
And so, the great ship slowly yields to the deep, its final fragments returning to the seabed.
The ocean's patient reclamation of the steel continues. The shifting sands slowly rise, ensuring that
the Titanic provides a unique lens through which we can explore both the triumphs of Gilded Age engineering and the fundamental principles of physics.
We must remember that this debris field is hallowed ground, an underwater cemetery.
The Titanic brought the world together.
Look at this coordinate here. It aligns perfectly.
A shared history, uniting us in discovery.
Here lies the last bench, a silent sentinel to the souls who once shared this view. They called her unsinkable, but time is the ultimate victor. Here lies the ultimate testament to human ambition and the stark reality of our frailty. The eternal beacon in the abyss.